Well, I have to thank John Atkinson for that, for emceeing this, that scallywag, scurvy, and John does feed my Shamrock Shake fix every year. But I also want to tell you the rest of the story about Dick Durbin, in that he gave me his personal cell phone number when I was that wounded warrior, and he never said no when I would call and say, we have another problem at Walter Reed. We have another soldier who can't get help. We have another wounded warrior whose spouse can't make it here. And he became the unofficial ombudsman for Walter Reed, and we are all better off for it. Thank you, Dick. Just about a few minutes ago, I received a very gracious phone call from Kathy Salvi congratulating me and conceding the election, and congratulating me and wishing me the best of luck, and showing her confidence that I will serve the people of Illinois well. So thank you, Kathy, for running a very good campaign. To all of Kathy's supporters, please know that over this next term, I'm going to work to lift up all Illinoisans, not just those who voted for me, and that I'll never stop fighting to better this state that we all love. You know, this was the first of my races that both my daughters took part in. It's been amazing, though, to be honest. There were some unforced errors along the way, I have to say. I planned a 2-week RV tour where I would get to show my girls the whole state and campaign at the same time. It didn't take long after we loaded up the RV on the first day, though, for me to realize my mistake. Imagine, just imagine, thinking it was a good idea to put into a single RV 2 small children, a 4-year-old, a 7-year-old, and your husband, and the nanny, and your mother. For 14 days, starting from one state fair in Springfield and ending at the DuQuoin State Fair. In all seriousness, I am so thankful to have them here in this moment. And my 2 girls in the front row, and my mom's right with them. They'll come up in just a little bit. But the memory that I most wanted them to take away from this campaign isn't me speaking here tonight or what the headlines say tomorrow. What I'd rather them remember is what this moment says about our state and our nation. That a young woman who relied on Pell Grants to get through college can one day run for a position where she can help others get the affordable education that they deserve too. That a veteran who now flies around via wheelchair rather than a Black Hawk can find a new way to serve her country long after that last combat mission. And that the daughter of an immigrant, a girl who was on food stamps and nearly homeless growing up, can become anything she wants to be, even a multi-term United States Senator. My life is the American dream come true, and I'm honored to get to keep working to help every kid in every pocket of Illinois realize their own dreams too. I've always thought that there's a reason why Route 66 begins in Illinois, because just as the road weaves across our nation, touching every walk of life, passing houses of worship of every kind of denomination, and communities, rural, urban, and everything in between, so that too does Illinois tell the story of the diversity, the beauty, the strength of this great nation of America. We are the state that shaped Abraham Lincoln, the president who held our nation together even as it looked irrevocably divided, and Barack Obama, the leader who reminded us that hope isn't a luxury, but rather a necessity in that most important work of bettering our communities. We are a state that knows that no parent should have to choose between paying rent and paying for their child's dinner. A state that refuses to believe that the NRA's campaign dollars are worth another first grader being killed on her way to math class. We are a state that believes that we are all dishonored when a veteran is forced to lay their head down to sleep on the very same streets they sacrificed to defend. And we are a state that damn sure gets that politicians have no place in a woman's OBGYN appointment. We, my fellow Illinoisans, are a state that believes in those better angels President Lincoln once spoke of. Nothing about this great nation was inevitable. Nothing about our success was preordained. It took the courage of citizen soldiers who followed Washington across the Delaware, willing to sacrifice everything for an idea, America, and an ideal, democracy for the people, of the people, by the people. It took the sweat of the Asian American laborers who converted our nation and connected it one railroad tie at a time, breaking their backs building the Transcontinental Railroad. It took the bravery of black families who left everything they knew and came to Chicago, to East St. Louis, to find new homes, to build new lives, working in our factories and plants, helping us to ignite the Industrial Revolution that forever changed America and the world around it. From the mother of social justice, of social work, Jane Addams, to the mother of the environmental justice movement, Hazel Johnson, from John Deere to Jesse Jackson to Sandra Cisneros, from Michelle Obama to, sure, I guess even her husband, Barack, Illinoisans have led the way. We've started the businesses, broken the barriers, and set the milestones that have helped make this nation's impossible story possible. Because to me, Illinois is a 58,000 square mile community whose people see the inherent value in one another, who look out for each other. Whether they earn their paychecks planting soybeans near Urbana or teaching kindergarteners on the south side of Chicago. Whether they spend their days supporting our C-130 fleet in Peoria or helping lead their local union in Granite City, rolling the steel that helped to build this great nation. Our state has paved this nation's path forward in a million ways, both literally and figuratively. Ever since we built America's first elevated electric rail line back in the 1800s, every generation of Illinoisan has made down payments on our infrastructure that pay dividends for all of us who are alive today. With every bridge that was fortified and every telephone line hung, they made our country stronger, supercharging our economy after World War II, helping small businesses keep the power on, and helping families stay in touch through better broadband, too. We led this country's industrial revolution at the start of the last century, and I know that with the courage and conviction, the resilience and brilliance of all those who call Illinois home today, we are poised to lead this nation's next industrial revolution in this next century as well. From our natural resources, energy, water, you name it, to the human resources, our farmers, our manufacturers, our scientists, the list just goes on and on. We are a state uniquely positioned to keep powering this nation as we have done for so long. But we have to remember that what we've accomplished in the past doesn't determine what we will achieve in the future. So we can't let up now. In order to keep leading, we need to keep making the investments that make our families and our state as strong as it can possibly be. We need to build on the work of my first term, addressing the huge crisis that still affects too many families, including the 1 in 4 service members struggling to afford their family's next meal. We need to keep pushing to make pre-K affordable and accessible to all, to keep investing money in our public schools. We need to keep fixing our healthcare system, making sure that we look out more for that family in Cahokia Heights than the big pharma CEO who vacations in places like Mar-a-Lago. We need to ensure that no parent has to spend sleepless nights tabulating how to ration their toddler's insulin so that they have enough to make it to the end of the month. And we need to fight like hell to keep safeguarding the fundamental rights that our Constitution has long promised. You know, I went to war to defend that document, and if our nation called on me to do so once more, I'd pack my rucksack, put on my uniform, and climb back into my Black Hawk to defend it once again today. Because our Constitution means that much to me, and because it does so much to protect every single one of us. But lately, we seem to have moved away from the rights enshrined in its pages. We haven't done justice to the justice promised in its sentences and sentiments. So you better believe that in my next term, I'm going to keep doing everything in my power to change that. I'm going to roll my wheelchair into every office in the Capitol if necessary, working to ensure that our nation's first great pledge, that everyone has the right to pursue happiness, holds true all these years later. I am going to work to guarantee that everyone who calls this nation home is able to strive towards their version of the American dream, that every woman actually has a say over her own body, that Americans living with disabilities are able to get to work and have that work, that we are all able to love and marry who we choose, and that dreamers no longer have to worry that they'll be forced from the only country that they've ever known. And also that Jim Crow-esque laws don't prohibit anyone from voting come Election Day. That's what I'll be spending the next 6 years working for, thanks to each of you who cast your ballots these last few weeks. And thanks to each of you who volunteered for our campaign these last few months, caring so much about our democracy, so much that you worked day and night to ensure that our nation's next page is better than its last. So let me just do this. Hold me to every word I just said. Hold me to my promise to make things easier for that nurse who wrote me a letter terrified that she would not be able to afford her ailing husband's next months of medication. Hold me to my vow to look out for that corn farmer, that soybean grower who's desperately trying to keep his family farm legacy alive, almost among a most unpredictable market and unending competition. Hold me to my pledge to keep fighting alongside those advocates in Chicago who understand that no elementary schooler should have to drink out of a lead-contaminated water fountain at recess. Or for the environmental engineers in Hennepin working to make biofuel not the exception, but the norm. Or for the folks in Fairmont City doing whatever they can to expand broadband access so every child in Metro East has the internet necessary to do their schoolwork. I will never forget the people I've met over the past 6 years as your senator. Your stories, your struggles, your hopes are what have fueled my determination to make your tomorrow better than your yesterday. Sure, I know that won't be easy. I know there are still some folks seeking to sow seeds of division among us. And I know that we're a union that, yes, at times has been anything but united. But the miracle of America is that when it looks like those worst instincts are set to prevail, we come together and we resist those instincts. We refuse to give into that darkness. Black, white, Asian, Latino, gay, straight, transgender, you name it, we march. We speak out. We remember that we are the ones we've been waiting for, that we are the change that we seek, as a certain other Illinoisans who used to hold my Senate seat once said. We bend the moral arc of the universe, not waiting for anyone else to do it for us. We demand justice, fairness, equality, because we believe in the story, the power of this great nation. We believe that the impossible can happen to any one of us, that if you work hard, this nation will give you the opportunity to do anything you want, that even if you grew up hungry and nearly homeless like I did, you can rise, rise, rise. The beauty of America is that a little Asian girl named Tammy, who didn't speak English until the middle of her childhood, once led a bunch of Polish American and Irish American guys in her National Guard unit, all these tall blonde guys and me. And that this daughter of an immigrant who once had to earn money for her family by selling flowers on the side of the road gets to roll back into the Capitol building next term to keep fighting for all those who've ever been trodden down or counted out. So to all of those so-called leaders in Washington who act so scared of progress that they keep trying to divide us, that they keep trying to strip away our reproductive rights, that they keep backing the gun lobby, let me just say this. I hope you're ready for a fight. Because my titanium legs don't buckle. Thank you once more to everyone who scuffed up their sneakers working on this campaign. Thank you for pounding the pavement, for fighting for choice, for the climate, for justice, for working for a better tomorrow and the tomorrow after that. Thank you for putting your trust in me, for not sitting on the sidelines, but taking the mantle of our democracy and pushing it to make our country the one all of our children deserve. I promise to make you proud every moment of the next 6 years. Thank you.